What if I told you that the most important substance for our survival, the very air we're breathing right now, was originally a deadly poison that caused a global apocalypse, wiping out most of the life on our planet? It sounds like a sci-fi movie, but it's the real story of oxygen. Today, we're going to find out why you, me, your dog, and even the mushrooms in your backyard all depend on a gas that was once the most dangerous toxin on Earth. Let's rewind the clock about 3 billion years. Welcome to early Earth. Forget blue skies and fluffy white clouds. The atmosphere had almost no oxygen. It was thick with gases like methane and carbon dioxide, and the oceans were full of dissolved iron. It probably smelled a bit like rotten eggs. The dominant life forms were tiny, single-celled microbes, and they were anaerobic, meaning they lived without oxygen. They got their energy by eating things like sulfur or iron compounds. Think of it as running a car on a really weak, dirty fuel. It worked, but it didn't provide much of a spark. Life was slow and simple. Then, a new player entered the game, a tiny green genius called Cyanobacteria. These microbes pulled off one of the greatest inventions in the history of life: photosynthesis. They figured out how to use the most abundant energy source on the planet, sunlight, to make their own food. It was a brilliant evolutionary hack. They were so successful they spread across the entire planet. But this amazing new process had a waste product, a gas they just puffed out into the oceans. That waste gas was oxygen. For hundreds of millions of years, the planet tried to clean up this new pollution. The oxygen reacted with the iron in the oceans, creating rust that rained down on the seafloor, forming massive layers of rock we now call banded iron formations. But the cyanobacteria were relentless. Eventually, all the iron was rusted. The oxygen had nowhere else to go, so it flooded the oceans and poured into the atmosphere. For the old anaerobic life, this was a catastrophe. We call this the Great Oxidation Event, and it was Earth's first and possibly greatest mass extinction. You see, oxygen is incredibly reactive. It loves to steal electrons, a process that rips apart the cells of organisms not adapted to it. It was a chemical firestorm. Life on Earth had 3 choices: die, hide in oxygen-free environments like deep-sea vents, or adapt. And this is where life got clever. A few microbes evolved enzymes to protect themselves. But one group did something revolutionary. They didn't just build a shield against the fire. They figured out how to tame it and use it as a furnace. This new process was called aerobic respiration. And here's why it changed everything. Let's talk energy. Think of it like a payday. Breaking down a food molecule the old anaerobic way gives you about 2 units of energy. But if you use oxygen to burn that same molecule, you get around 36 units of energy. It wasn't a small upgrade. It was like trading a bicycle for a rocket ship. An organism with that much extra energy could do incredible things. It could grow bigger, build complex new parts, move faster, and hunt. This energy surplus was the fuel for all future complexity. Then came the ultimate team-up. A larger cell engulfed one of these new energy-producing bacteria. But instead of digesting it, it put it to work. The smaller bacterium became a dedicated power plant, living inside its host, pumping out energy in exchange for food and shelter. That tiny power plant was the ancestor of the mitochondria that are in almost every cell of your body right now. You are powered by the descendants of an ancient survivor that tamed a deadly poison. So, why do we breathe oxygen? It's not because it was always a life-giving friend. We breathe it because billions of years ago, life was nearly destroyed by it. And in that crisis, our ancient ancestors evolved a way to turn a planetary poison into the most powerful fuel on Earth. The very air that powers our bodies and our civilization is a ghost of the planet's first great apocalypse. And the reason we're here at all is because life didn't just survive that apocalypse. It learned to breathe the flames.